Captain. This is a man that's been reported 3 times in his career. He sat the last 2 weeks out. Nick, we're going to show you some footage here of...
You wouldn't have seen this, Nick.
No, this is probably the first time you've seen that hit on McGinnity over in the West. That was well talked about. Then top of the screen on Stevie Johnson.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You could have allowed him to go through. Can you just... Why did you decide to stay there and just give him a little one, which didn't deserve suspension, I might add? Just
to check him, just to stop him at the next contest. So it was nothing, no malice in it. It wasn't intended to hurt him, which of course it didn't. But yeah, I was trying to stop his run to going on to the next contest.
You appealed the first, not the second. You thought there was absolutely no way you were getting out of that second case, did you?
No, the second one. Well, the thing is with it, you have to actually bring one of them down, and all those cases. All the areas, so it was behind the ball, it was low impact, it was to the body, and it was intentional. I intended
it was
to stand
rubbish
in his way.
2 weeks for that.
No, but the point about that is, and this is not defending what happened to you, Nick, but the point about that is it's an accumulative effect with your points. I mean, that's what got you in the end, wasn't it? It wasn't that actually the act of how much damage or how deliberate that might have been. It was the fact that you had carryover points.
I did, but also you have to get enough points to actually for that to be considered. So it's not added on at the start, that's added on the end once the decision's been made on that incident.
As always, emotional scenes at the MCG for the traditional Anzac Day clash, and a man that had the privilege of playing yesterday afternoon in front of 85,000 joins us now. Jason Windley, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You must dream about a day like that. Last kick of the day, and for Zaharakis, his first goal ever in AFL football.
Yeah, it was amazing for him. Like, obviously, he's a Essendon supporter growing up, so he would have dreamt about that his whole life, and for it to come off yesterday, like in the last sort of 20 seconds, was like just amazing.
Well, let's have a look at the match results before Tim takes us through it. 84,000 at the MCG yesterday. The last 3 goals of the game to the Bombers in the last 4 minutes. Jack Anthony kicked 4, but it was really a Zaharakis show at the end, Tim.
It was at the end, but the Bombers got to a really slow start too in this game, and there's the players lining up. This was just a magnificent gesture from both clubs to do this. I've never seen that before. Scotty Lucas, I'll talk about him a little bit later. He really is still struggling with his form and his touch. There's Jack Anthony, who's probably the most productive forward on the ground. There's the pace of Alwyn Davey and a great and a lucky bounce. He was picked up by Harry O'Brien, which was a bit of a surprise. Now, that is a kick from Leon Davis that probably most people thought had sealed the game. And then the midfield opened up, and this bloke, who just loves taking on the game, did it again. He ran, he bounced. There's Barham chasing him, who's not too shabby as far as pace goes. He gets it over to Jeddah, and then he puts his through. And the Bombers still have a chance, but they still need 2 more goals. This is a wonderful kick from Dyson. I mean, that really probably, as Matty Knight said after the game, that gave them the excitement back and the belief that maybe they could win. And then this is the final kick of the game. A young kid pushed off balance at the time. They nail it, and that was an unlikely victory. And the 3 things I learned about this game is that the 6-day break is a fallacy. Essendon came off a 6-day break. Collingwood had an 8-day break. They played the Friday night before, and they were the side probably in the end that didn't run it out as well as Essendon. Lucas, Cloke and Rocker are all out of form. I don't believe that Rocker is finished as a player, but at the moment he's out of form. He probably needs another 2 or 3 weeks. Mick Malthouse spoke about that after the game. And Essendon were very lucky to get away with just the 1 ruckman yesterday. David Hill went down, as we know, very early in the game. Paddy Ryder played the best game I have ever seen him play for the Bombers, and probably is the best game he's played since he came across.
Won the medal.
He won the medal. He won the Anzac Day medal. But I reckon, and Matty Knights talked about this after the game too. He's asked a question about Paddy Ryder, about he's sort of a kid that might play with the handbrake on occasionally. Yesterday, he let himself go, and he started to do all the things that they knew that Paddy Ryder could do. I mean, he is a wonderful athlete, but we haven't probably seen that enough in his games, Jason.
Yeah, like he's got so much potential. Like, he could be an absolute superstar. It's just a matter of just working hard on the training track. It all begins there, and just to push himself now. And obviously, with David going down, he's like more than likely obviously going to be out for the year. So this could be a great opportunity for him just to take the game on now.
What did you think when you saw David Hill roll over in agony on the ground and then leave the field?
Well, obviously it was pretty early, and like for that first sort of 10-15 seconds, you just like not really sure what to think. First of all, you sort of feel sorry for him, like, but then from then on, you just got to switch on and just make sure all the guys start focusing back in on what we have to do. And yeah, obviously it worked out in the end.
What did you think when you saw Jobe Watson take up the ruck work?
Yeah, I thought he was doing all right. Like, he likes to think he can play a few positions, so he did all right, I thought.
Tim,
they were slow to. I think Essendon were a little bit slow to react, and as to how they were going to engineer that ruck department for the rest of the day. Paddy Ryder stayed on the ground for most of the day, but it took a while for the instruction to get to him that he was to drop behind the ball and the forwards, Lucas and Lloyd, were to come up and take the ruck, and that eventually happened, which enabled him to see the game out.
I want to change the subject. I want to know where you were when the siren went, and I want to know where you were when the siren went and what was going through your head. You first.
I was in the coach's box, and obviously I was probably more shocked than anything. With 3 or 4 minutes to go, we're 14 points up and they needed 3 straight goals, so everything had to go perfectly for Essendon, and it did. So it was one of those occasions that just complete and utter shock.
Chilling? Was it chilling? Did you look at Mick? Did Mick look around the coach's box?
Oh, no, I didn't dare look at Mick, but I was...
Looking at the floor?
I mean, I had my own just personal shock, just wondering what exactly happened. How did we let that go? So it was very disappointing.
And where were you, Jace?
Yeah, I was in the defensive 50, about 30 out, and I was just praying that they didn't get the quick centre clearance. But we had about 16 of the boys that already rushed back into the back 50 by then anyway. But once the siren went, didn't know what to think really. It was the same as the Carlton game, because we just came from nowhere. And just everything, like Nick said, it just worked perfectly those last sort of 2 minutes.
Well, Nick Maxwell was terrified in the box. Michael Malthouse was, in his words, more disappointed than any other home and away loss. Let's hear what he had to say after they lost by 5 points.
I can't think of a more disappointing result in a home and away series game. Unfortunately, I reckon we let the Anzacs down.
Nick, you wasn't happy?
No, and fair enough too. We had the game won. It's put a big dent in our stats this season, so we've got a lot of work now to do, but I'm sure the boys will put it behind us pretty quick, and we're looking forward to next week.
Well, the Anzac Day game is in its 16th year. Here's a magazine celebrating 15 years. It's Badge of Honour. You can grab it for $15 at any good newsagent or at essendonfc.com.au. Profits go to the RSL. So if you want to read about the great 15 years of history, Robbo, go and grab a magazine.
Oh, I better buy it. I missed it yesterday. I missed the last 5 minutes, so I better buy it.
All right, after the break, we test Jason on potatoes and we look at today's 3 games to complete the round.